So you decided to take a look at the most righteous character you can find in Guild Wars 2, and you stumble onto the Guardian, the resident Golden Child. But you have no idea where to start. Well, that's where I'm going to help you out. This is the new player's guide to the Guardian in Guild Wars 2. While the emphasis will focus on the core spec, I will briefly touch on the Dragonhunter, the Firebrand, and the Willbender. Let's get into it. The Guardian's profession mechanic are their virtues. Each one of these virtues embody one of the ideals of any stalwart protector. Justice, resolve, and courage, or as it's supposed to be sound, justice, courage, and resolve. Each one of these offer unique combat effects. Justice burns enemies passively with every few attacks, while the active ability imbues the Guardian and their allies to burn them with the guaranteed next attack. Resolve heals passively, but when activated can heal for a large chunk on demand. Courage passively applies a boon called Aegis, which blocks the next attack. When it is activated, it grants Aegis to the Guardian and their nearby allies. Each one of these virtues can be further modified with specific trade lines and choices, but passively on their own they make the Guardian an incredibly durable combatant. Speaking of trade lines, the Guardian has a wide variety of customization skills based off of the playstyle that the Guardian is looking to accomplish. The Guardian has access to Zeal, Radiance, Honor, Valor, and Virtues. Zeal focuses on improving strike damage as well as applying vulnerability, which causes targets to take more damage per stack. Radiance is oriented around the Justice virtue, providing burning, improving critical strikes, and improving resolution uptime. Resolution reduces all incoming condition damage while active. Honor is oriented around the Resolve virtue that focuses on healing, dodging, and protection. This can also improve your shouts. Valor is oriented around the Courage virtue, improving damage mitigation through blocking and Aegis. The Virtues trait line improves various components of all three virtues while also providing extra sources of resolution. Inherently, the Guardian can provide some great healing and defensive ability, while also still being quite an offensive powerhouse. The Guardian has a versatile set of weapons that they can utilize to combat the forces of evil and the wicked. Uniquely, each one of the main hand or any of the two-handed weapons has a symbol, and each symbol provides a unique benefit to allies or a damaging effect to enemies. Let's review. First, the Great Sword offers powerful AoE attacks, healing, and mobility. It also provides an excellent source of crowd control in the form of a pool. The Hammer is more defensive-oriented, providing excellent crowd control, moderate damage, and grants protection, which reduces all incoming damage by 33%. The Staff is a supportive style of weapon, offering excellent healing and even swiftness, which improves movement speed by 33%. The main hand weapon Mace is a defensive and supportive weapon, striking slow but applying regeneration and even some crowd control. The sword is an offensive powerhouse, providing a shadow step, incredibly strong attacks, and even providing fury, which improves critical strike chances when active. The scepter is a mid-range offensive weapon that can immobilize and smite enemies at that distance. The offhand focus focuses light to deal damage, but can also apply Aegis to block incoming attacks. The shield can activate a wave of light to apply Aegis to allies, or create a protective moving dome that deflects all incoming ranged attacks. The torch burns all nearby enemies by setting the Guardian literally on fire, or it can blow fire in a cone in front of them, cleansing conditions and damaging enemies. The Elite Specialization weapons are now made available across the board if you have the Weapon Master training from the Secrets of the Obscure expansion, or if you own the individual expansion and their corresponding elite specializations. The longbow strikes enemies with true arrows at long distance, being able to control and burn them. The main hand axe burns and bleeds enemies while also pulling them closer into the jaws of the axe. The offhand sword offers swift, mobile strikes that deal incredibly high damage. Regardless of the build path, the Guardian is quite strong. The Guardian has some great utility skills that are typically balanced to offer both positive effects for allies and the Guardian, as well as damaging effects for their enemies. They can utilize consecrations, meditations, shouts, signets, and spirit weapons. Consecrations are strong area of effects that can be put onto the ground and offer a variety of defensive and supportive capabilities. Meditations provide cleansing, mobility, and healing in a variety of ways. Shouts provide positive effects to the Guardian and their nearby allies, and can even draw all conditions from them and place them onto the Guardian. Signet skills provide strong passive and powerful active abilities. These tend to be more defensive in focus. Uniquely to the Guardian, spirit weapons summon effigies of massive weapons to deal damage, control, and even heal. Possibly some of the most visually appealing skills in the game. The playstyle of the Guardian can fit many different roles in various forms of content. In the open world, they typically are not as durable as, say, the warrior with their toughness or vitality, but they make up for it with their various forms of Aegis and passive healing. Even some of their skills can heal on demand, so despite the lower defensive stats, they are more than capable of handling quite a bit of endgame. Speaking of endgame, in grouped content, Guardians are unmatched due to their supportive passive capabilities. Baseline and even offensively, they can't help but make a positive impact on their nearby allies. The Guardian also being mostly melee, the Aegis boon generation and the bounce damage mitigation will make you an absolute beast. Here's some quick leveling tips to get you started with your Guardian. Number 1, remember that your main defenses are being able to block often. Watching your enemy's attacks and knowing when to take the hit, to use Aegis, or even dodge roll will vastly improve your survivability. Don't forget symbols provide powerful boons while you stand in them. Always try to make sure that you are keeping those up as long as possible. 3, mostly the Guardian can be self-sufficient, but absolutely thrives in group settings or with other players. Don't forget to make some friends. So regardless of what type of build you are looking for, the Guardian is an excellent hybrid class, providing healing, strike damage, condition damage, as well as crazy supportive boons. Honestly, the Celestial stat line is always a solid choice just for a simple, straightforward focus on handling Tyria. More offensively oriented, say for strike damage, personally I like the Grieving stat line or even the simple Berserkers. While condition, Vipers is always a great choice. For supportive capabilities, anything that applies healing and concentration is going to be your best friend. Harrier is honestly always a good go-to, but being versatile and honestly hybrid focused, you can't really go wrong. Now let's take a look at the elite specializations. The Dragonhunter is the Heart of Thorne's elite specialization for the Guardian and takes hunting very seriously. Originally released with their featured weapon, the longbow, they ensnare enemies and pull them into vicious traps to obliterate them. Their profession mechanic changes the way that they function to be more range-oriented, going with Spear of Justice, Wings of Resolve, and Shield of Courage. Spear of Justice tethers the Guardian to an enemy and, when reactivated, pulls the target to the Dragonhunter. Wings of Resolve provide a short-range leap that allows you to heal when you land. The Shield of Courage creates a projectile blocking barrier in front of the Guardian that moves with them. Their new skills are traps, which deal immense damage to those who cross those thresholds. Specifically, even their elite trap skill, Dragon's Maw, prevents escape once the enemy has fallen victim. The Dragonhunter is a vicious and cunning combatant. The Firebrand is essentially a spiritual prophet that is tied to the Path of Fire expansion. The Firebrand is an excellent multi-focused specialization by offering not only incredible condition damage, but some of the best supportive capabilities in the game. The Firebrand originally was released with the Axe to burn and bleed enemies while also being able to control them. The Virtues turn into Tomes, which are new weapon sets that function on a charge system. These charged are used each time that the Firebrand utilizes a skill within any of the Tomes. When used, they go on a short cooldown before they can be accessed again. The Tome of Justice offers crowd control and immense burning. Tome of Resolve offers fantastic healing and condition cleansing while also providing some great boons. The Tome of Courage provides amazing defensive boons and affects such as stability, protection, and even being able to taunt enemies to attack the Firebrand. Their new skills are mantras, which take a few seconds to charge, but then can use them in quick succession with growing effect for each cast. The Firebrand is one of the most notable sources of a boon called Quickness, which improves casting speed greatly, and is one of the main requirements in any types of group content. Feel the heat from the Burn Master. Lastly, we have the Willbender, the elite specialization from the End of Dragons expansion. The Willbender is a fast and mobile combatant that looks to deal immense melee damage with kicks and forceful punches to overwhelm enemies quickly. Originally released with the offhand sword, the Willbender is a ferocious fighter. The virtues become mobility-based, each offering a short-range dash depending on which one is utilized. Rushing Justice dashes towards an enemy, burning them and applying Willbender flames. This damages enemies over time. Flowing Resolve evades attacks and cleanses conditions while moving forward and also applies Willbender flames. Crashing Courage is a short-range shadow step that applies stability and Aegis. The new skills are physical skills, which provide extra mobility, strikes, and powerful, hard-hitting crowd control abilities. Paired with the Guardian's baseline defensive capabilities, a fast and deadly assassin across any battlefield. Regardless of the focus, the Guardian is an exceedingly versatile class, and not only has a spot in every form of endgame content, they also have some of the best aesthetics across the board. Without a doubt, the Guardian is the true defender of Tyria. If you want to learn more about the shadowy assassin and the thief, click this video here for the new player's guide. Stay caffeinated, folks.